Hello, and welcome back to Enter the Kombat League, a video series where we take you, the player, through the different ranks of Kombat League and offer our tips for how to progress through those ranks to go from a new combatant all the way up to the godly ranks of the top. It's time for our final episode of the series, and we've saved the most difficult for the end. This time we're covering what to expect in the absolute highest ranks: Demigod, God, and Elder God. Demigod is by itself an impressive accomplishment. It is where many players will aim for, as it's where you'll earn all of the season's rank-related skins, making it a common target rank for online players. The main thing about Demigod is that this is where the gloves come off, as you'll be finding players of all ranks, including Elder God. Meaning that by the time you reach Demigod, you should prepare yourself for absolutely anything, as here there are no more rank restrictions in your matchmaking, meaning that you're likely to be faced off against the highest ranked players that Kombat League has to offer. Demigod will be full of players that have a firm grasp on the game itself, and is where the grind will really begin to ramp up. At this point and above, you'll want to be playing consistently and often, as the distance between rank ups will increase here and beyond. You'll want to stay on top of your game to make sure that you're not falling behind. It's also important to keep your playstyle fluid. At this point of matchmaking, your usual strategies might prove ineffective versus certain kinds of opponents. For example, if you typically aim towards playing at close or sweep distance, but are being bested by superior close range options, try putting some distance between you and the opponent to see how they handle navigating through long range buttons and projectiles. Players with a great rushdown game might put themselves in unfavorable situations once you force a range where they can't do it, such as jumping at poor times, eating projectiles, and so on. Around here is where you'll typically find a lot of online players sticking to the characters who are considered the strongest in the game. You can usually scan the leaderboards, and as there are usually much less players in these higher ranks, you can look through them to see what characters are the most popular, and prepare yourself accordingly. Now, God rank is where you have to really start concentrating. This is where many high-level online players and quite often competitive players will actually dwell. You're guaranteed serious matches from the majority of who you will play in this rank. The big thing for a new player achieving these ranks is to go back to what we covered in the very first episode. It's common for less experienced players to get nervous knowing that they're against very strong opponents. It's important to remember that you managed to achieve this rank too, and you had to earn your place here, and thus are capable of continuing through it. Fundamentally, you absolutely have to keep your mistakes to a minimum to climb to God rank. As you really don't have much higher to climb, you'll be in the most likely area to lose more points than you'll generally win. This is typically due to there being considerably more players in Demigod and under as opposed to God and above, so your mistakes will be punished harder here during your climb than anywhere else. This is where understanding the meta of the game is the most important. You will absolutely need to have good matchup knowledge of the stronger characters and will need to be absolutely confident with your own. Additionally, this is where it helps to be adept with practice mode. If you lose to specific situations online and you find it's hindering your ability to earn Kombat League points, you should be able to recreate those situations in training and explore what your options are. Get friendly with the record or playback features, as, trust me, you're going to need it. This one's not exclusive to God, but it definitely applies at the later stages of Kombat League. Be prepared for the art of counterpicking. This doesn't always happen, but if you just so happen to play a character with an unfavorable matchup, there's always a chance that the opponent knows how to play that matchup and may go to that character after losing their first game to give themselves an advantage. Unless you play a side character to cover the matchups that your main character may struggle in, the only thing you can really do is the best you can to make sure you're as clued up in difficult matchups as possible. A difficult character matchup isn't a guaranteed loss by any means, but it just means the opponent's pick may have some particularly troublesome tools that you'd better be ready for. Typically, the players you see achieving God every season have one thing in common: tenacity. Not being put off by individual losses, not getting hung up on mistakes, and making sure to learn from them. It's important to maintain proper composure while aiming for the final hurdle to avoid making mistakes, which can result in serious point loss. Elder God is the final challenge for every player online in MK11, and a rank that only a tiny percentage of the overall player base actually achieve in each Kombat League season. Only the most dedicated or hardcore players will regularly achieve Elder God rank, and it demands that you have an absolute hold on the online world and thorough mastery of your character. Achieving Elder God is a challenge enough, but maintaining it while you're already there is challenging still, as there is nowhere to go but down. You'll constantly be in a point deficit with every match you play, with the exception being if you're fighting other Elder Gods. An impressive accolade, seeing, as we stated earlier, such a few amount of players overall actually achieve it, and you'll be rewarded with every rank-based reward for achieving the rank, as well as unique cosmetics for your player profile that you can forever equip to show your achievement to the rest of the world. Achieving Elder God rank is largely due to making sure that you are winning far more than you're losing, due to the fact that along the way you'll be losing large chunks of points for losses and only gaining a considerable amount if you take out other Elder Gods along the climb. This means that going on win streaks is a great way of getting the points needed without facing too many hiccups, which is easier said than done. Elder God is a tough road, but a great achievement for anybody who is able to reach it. The three kinds of God rank are definitely the hardest to achieve, but it's certainly not impossible. Those of you looking for something to seriously aim for and play regularly can absolutely go for them. Even if you don't achieve the rank that you're aiming for, always remember, progression is important and a part of every player's ranked journey. Just because you didn't achieve a certain rank this season doesn't mean that you won't in the next. Take things at your own pace, and the progress will speak for itself with every Kombat League season that rolls out. And that's it! Hopefully this series has helped those of you out there new to Kombat League or looking to get a bit more serious with it. You can now have a better understanding of what this mode involves and roughly what to expect as you climb through the online world. Thank you for watching, and good luck as you continue to enter the Kombat League.
Fatality. Noob Saibot wins.